We in here.
Word in the house.
Yo,
Welcome, Chef Phil, to the pod.
Shout out, Chef Phil.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for having me in the house. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good.
It's dope to be doing this with Phil. Phil and I started together and started together. We took a comedy class together, which we were just talking about is like kind of a scam in retrospect.
Yeah, definitely. I would say so. I try not to hate on it, but I see a lot of teachers out there, and teaching workshops, and then if it's like a low price, I don't really mind that too much. But I see a lot of people I've learned now that it's like all a scam for like a lot of new artists new comics that are coming up in the game, because I feel like I signed up for a couple things and didn't really reap the benefits that they was promoting in it, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like we got lucky in that we developed a contact with Tony V, who's like an actually legit comedian. So like that to me, that's my money's worth right there.
Yep.
But had it been, I've seen some of the other comics that teach comedy classes performing around the scene, and it's like, oh, you're not qualified for this at all.
Exactly. Yeah. Or you see them subbing out each other for whatever. It's like another way for them to make some quick change. I will say I appreciate, like you said, like Tony V, who's a great teacher. Kelly McFarland, I thought she was a great teacher too.
Yeah, she was great.
I loved her feedback, and just the fact that I made Tony V laugh. It was like, okay, that's what's up. These are funny jokes, and kind of gave me confidence. Gave me enough confidence to go out there and try it. But nothing I feel like teaches you more or gives you more confidence than actually going to mics and actually doing it.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. The grind is the best way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Beyond the grizzly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to tell you about this prosecutor, Fannie Willis, in Georgia. I'm interested to get your take on this.
Okay.
Black man's perspective.
All right, let's hear it.
We're starting hot.
Yeah.
So I'll try to make this as efficient as possible. So she's prosecuting Trump's case in Georgia.
Yeah.
Trump is accused of basically a plot to overturn election results in Georgia. Yeah. And she's the main prosecution. Trump's team of attorneys have gone back and found back into her past and found that she has had a relationship with one of the attorneys on her team, which is fine. You're allowed to do that. They disclosed it and whatever. But the problem is she went on a bunch of vacations with this guy. Yeah. And if you do that, to confirm that you're not getting kickbacks, as the lead prosecutor, as the head of the team, you have to pay that person back. Otherwise, it looks like you said to them, I'm going to hire you, and I'm going to make sure you get paid, but you have to give me this kickback. You have to take me on this vacation.
Yeah.
And so her argument that this isn't true is that she did pay him back, and they're like, okay, where are the receipts? She's like, I paid him back in cash. And they're like, okay,
Sure.
What are you talking about? And this is where it got racial. Is she said like every black father makes sure his daughter has a lot of cash on her at all times in case she needs to like get out of some kind of situation. And I was interested because it's like that seems plausible to me.
Yeah.
Like I can see that being like an attitude of a black person in America, just being safe,
Yep.
But it's also like awfully fucking convenient that this is coming out now. When her ass is against the wall.
Yeah.
Is that something you've ever heard of?
No, but I mean, I will say I do have a daughter. There's certain situations like, it took me a while to get comfortable even just putting her in an Uber, but I always make sure that, she has she does have money so she can take an Uber. She's not feeling stranded or feel the need to like hitchhike or some shit like that. But that definitely sounds a little crazy though, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's like, damn, shout out to his team for going back and digging up that.
Dude. Yeah.
Wait, quick side note, is that what the season of Curb thing is about? Because that was in Georgia too, right?
So Curb, like the whole arc of this season of Curb is that Larry is like accused of election interference because he gave some people water in the lines in the voting lines in Georgia.
Yeah.
But yeah, that it's based off the same case. But yeah, her testimony is like, at first she was gonna refuse to show up to the subpoena, and then she like comes rushing dramatically into the courtroom. They're like, so where did you get if you have no ATM receipts? indicating that you took out cash. Like, where'd you get this money? And she was like, my blood, sweat, and tears. They're like, all right, I don't know what to do with
I
this.
find that interesting that it's being spun like that because the first thing that I came to mind is usually him that would be under attack for like. So he hired her.
So she hired a junior attorney to be on her team.
Yeah.
She's the lead attorney.
Okay.
And
Against Trump.
Against Trump. This is all against Trump. So, like, none of this has anything to do with Trump.
Yeah.
But his lawyers are just like, look, we don't have a case. So if you're Trump's lawyers, this is, of course, part of what you're going to do. You're going to try to defend Trump's case, but you're also going to see if you can dig up dirt
on the other
who's
people
coming after you.
Yep.
So, like, in that sense, I kind of don't feel bad for her because it's like, what, did you think Trump's people weren't gonna?
You guys went on vacation.
Yeah, they're gonna figure it out. So the way it
He's
works
got
is
Secret
like,
Service watching you, dude. Obviously, they're finding some stuff out.
they're also the dirtiest lawyers ever.
Yeah.
Like, of course, they're like mob lawyers.
Yeah.
They're gonna find it. If you've got dirt, they're gonna find it. But yeah, so
They don't even need dirt. They canceled Kathy Griffin.
that was pretty brutal though. That like
Yeah.
head, like her holding up the severed Trump head.
Yeah, that was wild, dude.
Yeah. It's funny that like the left is clearly the PC people, but like when they go edgy as shit.
Yeah, they go overboard edgy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Yeah, I gotta look up in that, but yeah, that sounds a little crazy. I mean, why? That was a silly move. I don't know why she would do that, but I gotta look into
I think what happens, it's like, have you ever heard of the Peter Principle? It's this idea, this guy wrote a book about it. It's fascinating. Like, once you learn this idea, you see it everywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. It's the idea that, like, everybody rises to the level of their incompetence. So, her in how it applies in this case is she thought, like, the reality is she could have taken these kickbacks, taken these vacations, and just accepted that means that she's reached her ceiling in terms of her career. Because if she goes any higher, they're going to find out that she's doing this. She couldn't accept that when they came around and were like, hey, we want you to prosecute Trump. She was like, hell fucking yeah. She couldn't resist.
Yep.
She tries to rise, and then they find out her shit. So it's like, that was the level of her incompetence. She could have gotten away with it. Like, either you accept that you have a ceiling on your career and you take the kickbacks, or you stay clean your whole career, and when the big case comes, you can take it.
Yep.
You ever see House of Cards? You ever watch that show?
Oh, hell yeah,
Oh,
dude.
my God. I love that show because I feel like that's exactly how fucking politics work.
Yes, dude.
Like,
Absolutely.
It is not about, like, who's got the best laws or whatever. It's all about who fucking backstabs each other the most or who can...
Was that the
whip
show
up
with
the most-
Spacey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, the first few seasons were great, I thought. It was
Politicians
like-
do be fucking young boys, too. So that makes sense.
Yo, did you see the video he put out after he got canceled?
Spacey?
Yeah.
No.
It was fucking crazy. He put out this video of just him talking to the camera with like a fireplace in the back and like leather-bound books and shit. And he's basically playing his Frank Underwood character from House of Cards. And it's 2 minutes of him being like, they tried to get rid of me, but you want me back. It's so creepy. It's like, dude, this is not like you being canceled for making an edgy comment. Like, you're a pedophile.
Yeah, this is much different, dude.
He did have one of the, that and like his immediate response to me, like, called a pedophile. He's like, I'm gay.
Yeah.
That was one of the best all-time responses to getting canceled.
Crazy.
But yeah, it just struck me as far-fetched, this idea that, like, yes, she's just basically playing the race card, being like, it's just part of our culture that we keep like between $1 and $2 and $15,000 in cash on us at all times, just in case we have to pay our boyfriends back for fancy vacations.
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
Crazy.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
yeah.
yeah, I don't even know if I would have. No, I hate some certain shit like that. It's so. Like, again, shout out to his team for bringing it up, but it's like it's so irrelevant to shit. And then I hate the fact that people sometimes have to answer to shit like that when it's like one of the things I've always said is like, Tiger Woods having to apologize to a room full of cheaters was just the dumbest shit to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's something, I'm not condoning it or anything like that, but it's just what people get dragged, some certain people get dragged for the month for. It's like, I don't know, I kind of like them more after that shit.
Yeah, it's,
That's
it's humanizing.
solid point, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's humanizing.
I would have took those vacations hands down, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like another great example. Like Shane Gillis is about to host Saturday Night Live, right? So that's another Peter Principle example where like he was rising, he was doing great, and then SNL came, and he was like he couldn't resist. Just like she couldn't resist taking the Trump case, he couldn't resist taking SNL. But that was one level too high, and they went back in his past, and they found his shit, and then he got fired. So it's like that's the thing.
What did he get fired for? I'm not.
He
He said
used
the Asian slur that starts with a C.
yes on an old.
I'm not gonna-
podcast. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. We've learned the lesson.
I'm not on the upwards trajectory of that yet, so
Yeah.
give me a couple years and I'll use it.
It's like so many people getting canceled on their rise up. Matt Rife, him, gee, it's like.
What is Matt
It
Rife
seems
getting
to just-
canceled for?
Well, he
Well, I
was,
suppose the women jokes.
Yeah. Supposedly he got Well, then I seen he's got another special coming out on Netflix.
Which
but-
led to the funniest joke that he's ever made.
That's just
Which
true,
was that
yeah.
Instagram post where it said, "This is my apology letter," and it was a link. And when you clicked on it, it went to a website that sells special needs helmets. It's the funniest shit ever, dude. That was so great. That's his best
easily
joke that
the
he's done.
funniest thing he's ever done.
But his special sucked.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't
he's-
even watch it.
I don't think he's funny.
See, that's one thing.
Some
I
of
like
his
to watch people
crowd work
suck before I
clips
make
are
them.
all right, but it's like crowd work it's only so funny.
Well,
You
it's
can
a
only ask
formula.
someone what they do for work so many times until it's dull.
Yeah, and it's also it's kind of I don't know. I try not to hate on
know,
like
Andrew
Is that your girlfriend? No, that's my mom.
yeah. I mean,
No, Andrew
sometimes-
Schultz
yeah.
is really good at crowd
He's
work too.
just amazing at that. I remember when I first started out and I typed in. That's how I actually found out about him. Was like we were just talking about. Instead of like going and like paying for a class, but there's so much stuff on YouTube. So I just typed in like great crowd work, and
Yeah.
he popped up. And
Yep.
That's how I found, and I just started watching some of the shit. I was like, damn, this dude's amazing at this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way I found him was those weekend update type things he used to do during COVID.
During COVID, yeah,
Yeah.
those were great.
That was
turn
how-
your phone over.
Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
yep. And I assume I'd seen his stand up on clips and stuff, but that was how I really got into him and I started listening to his podcasts and shit like that. Those are fucking great, dude.
Schultz rules. Schultz is like the
He's the
Jay-Z
man.
of comedy because he's so good at the business side of it.
Yep.
It's like he's a good
Yep.
comedian, but he's amazing at knowing like what to
Marketing
do.
and
exactly,
stuff, yeah.
marketing, what kind of content people
And
want.
it helps
Yep.
him to just not just be, and he's very smart too.
Yeah.
I love his story about how he actually tried to get his special on Netflix, and they want him to edit it down. And he was like, "Nah, fuck that," and he put it on YouTube.
Bought it
Now,
back. Yeah.
he's doing his own thing. It's
Yeah.
he's bigger than he's sold out quick as hell when he came here.
I wondered.
Oh, yeah,
I
dude.
wondered when that happened. I wondered if it was true or not, because it would be so him to be like to make it up. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
to not be true. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's a perfect narrative for him. It's
Yeah.
like it was too dirty for Netflix, so
Yeah.
I'm putting it out guerrilla style. It's
But
like,
Netflix is
That was a great
dropped
special,
something,
though.
They probably would have said something if it wasn't true. But
Mm.
either way, it worked for him.
yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with Netflix right now. I mean, them sticking with Chappelle and all that. Like,
Yeah.
To me, I think it's the best.
They've been
streaming.
putting good comics on as of late.
yeah,
Like for their first Netflix specials. I mean, Shane, obviously.
yeah.
Mark Norman, Sam Morril got one.
Stavros House.
Stavros,
Yeah,
Dusty Slay just got one.
Yeah.
He's the man.
yeah, yeah.
Seth Meyers was that Lobby Baby. I think that was one of the best specials I've seen in a while.
Really?
He's
Yeah,
on
dude,
the
that's a
right
good
Oh,
one.
shit.
Yeah.
I think that one was really good. I love ones like that because me especially being an older comic, like my style and what I talk about is my family, my kids, and everything like that. So sometimes I was like kind of a little hesitant. I was like, I wonder if people really care about him. And then to hear his special that was just so good about like his wife giving birth and then kids, and then it was so funny. Like from beginning to end, it was one of the best specials I've seen. It was just brilliant. It was written brilliantly.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like he had so many like callbacks, and just the whole thing was just like it was just great.
He was the head writer for SNL for a long time.
Yeah.
Like every sketch had to go through him, which I didn't realize because he's kind of a low key. I suppose he has the
He was
Late
great
Show
on
with
Weekend
Seth
Update,
Meyers,
too.
but, yeah.
But
So
the also
good.
key to that too is Neil Brennan directed it, and Neil Brennan's just fucking
No shit,
great.
yeah.
Mm.
Neil Brennan is great. Yeah, he's funny. Although I don't know, like we were talking about this a little bit earlier before we hit record. Like Neil Brennan's one of those guys that I feel like is really running the like mental health thing in comedy into the ground. Like it's just his whole podcast is like it's good because he's such a smart guy. It's I always enjoy what he does, but like it's just I don't know.
It's another thing that
when is this phase gonna end?
Yeah. Well, it's another thing that like you can only beat that horse for so long until it's just stale.
Exactly.
Same thing with like
Yeah.
crowd work clips and shit. I mean,
Right.
you gotta.
Yeah.
The well is only so deep, as they say.
But I
till
feel
it
like on the
runs
flip
dry.
side, he kind of found who he is, and that's his character on stage, and well, not just on stage, but he makes it clear that he's kind of an introvert, and he doesn't, and that's his. I always think it's funny, like seeing comics like that. Like there's people that are very like non-verbal, non-social, and like just everyday, just conversation. You know, there's a comic that comes to mind, AJ. I remember one time he came to my show, and he's very like he's not very outspoken, but when he gets on the stage, the
Yeah, he's
guy's
a low-key
fucking great.
dude.
You know what I mean? And I kind of like I love seeing that other side of people, and it's just I feel like that is like I'll never forget his first special, the 3 mic one. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And I like that now that people are advocating more, speaking more about their mental health or therapy, because I feel like it's so many people it's a stigma. But I feel like that's one of the only reason why I could say I could appreciate it is I'm at that stage right now where I'm like trying to figure out who I want to be on stage, and I get what you're saying too, because you want to find out who you are on stage, but you don't want to get into that bag where it's just that's who you are.
That's all it is. Yeah.
You don't want to pigeonhole
Yep.
yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that's what I felt like. Like everybody loves Seinfeld. You know what I mean? And it's like, to me, it's like I've never like I like him to a certain degree, but it's like his comedy to me is always the same. It's like, I mean, I just don't get it. If you're hungry, then you eat something.
Right, yeah.
That's what I do. What do you do? It's like
I've never liked his comedy that much. I feel like it was just for a different era than me. But
show.
I love comedians in cars getting coffee.
Oh, I
like
love that
his
too.
because he is brilliant about comedy, like talking about comedy.
The
as
funny
far as being
people thing
funny,
that
yeah.
they did on HBO too.
Talking
him,
funny.
Louis. Oh,
Yeah.
Talking Funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Him, Louis, Ricky Gervais, and Chris Rock.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Shit's great.
It's probably you were talking about like not having to take a class like. That's a fucking class. That's like that's like a college lecture, like PhD level comedy discussion for free on YouTube. Yeah, Talking Funny. If anybody's a fan,
My bad. I was just texting Cam back.
that's all right.
I'm opening tonight
Nice, nice. Where?
at the Point.
Oh, at the Point.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have to be there at 9.
Right. Yeah. I'm on pretty early.
I'm
too.
glad I read that. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh. 17 minutes. You were talking about a Reddit post you found.
Oh yeah, dude. All right, let me pull this up. This is fucking wild, bro. Guys, we're gonna talk about trans people real quick. All right, so the Reddit post says, "My wife is refusing to let me breastfeed our newborn. This is making me dysphoric and seems transphobic. I've been on E for 2 years and transitioned after 6 years with my wife. She accepts and sees me as a woman. However, she gets very uncomfortable and cagey when I suggest sharing breastfeeding."
Okay, so as far like can a biological man who is transitioning lactate?
Dude.
I don't think so, right?
Well, I haven't had top surgery yet, but I read about inducing milk and how we can produce it. That sounds like Meet the Fockers, dude.
Yeah.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
I mean, look, if she can do it physically, then yeah, I think their wife is a transphobic piece of shit.
I guess, dude. Yeah. But he hasn't had top surgery. Or she hasn't had top surgery. So it's
Right.
just like
Then that's just a baby sucking a man's
sucking a man's
nipple.
tit, dude.
Sucking a
Yeah,
man's
what
tit.
the hell?
Yeah, I'm gonna share a crazy story with you real quick. I remember when I first had my daughter, right? I'm playing with her out of the tub and everything like that, and just being silly, like I squeezed, and milk came out. And I went to the nurse and I was like, "Yo, is this fucking normal?"
Wait, what? Out of you?
No, my daughter. Well, she was like
Oh.
6 months.
Oh,
You
shit.
know what I mean? And I'm washing her and I squeezed the nipple and milk came out. And I was like, "Is this fucking normal?" And she's like, "Yeah, I guess, from breastfeeding or whatever, they can lactate too. And I was like, I couldn't believe
What?
that shit.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I never heard such a thing.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I'm
That
really
shit blew my fucking mind. I was like, I couldn't believe that shit. I was like, already? What the fuck? And when I talked to the nurse, I was like, yo, is this normal? I was tripping out. And it was like, she's like, yes, it's very normal. And I was like, I couldn't believe that shit.
You ever
Yeah.
you ever taste your BM's breast milk?
I think I might have by accident one time. Shit. I
By accident?
wasn't a fan.
Oh,
I feel like Diddy
I
in that
feel like I
Chappelle
can-
sketch, dude. Breast milk, you make my day.
Oh, my favorite is the making the band. parody.
That's what it's from. Yeah. He
Only
clinks
drink the finest
he
breast
makes,
milk.
Yeah. He sings that after he drinks it. He fucking clinks the glasses together.
Yo,
So good.
Diddy has been going down for the count. For
Oh,
now.
dude, he's getting bombarded, bro.
He's getting bombarded. He's been raping everybody out here.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yo, it's long overdue. I'm not gonna lie. I've been not a fan of Diddy for a long time.
This has been one of those open secrets.
No, to me, I didn't know about all of that. You know, I do believe it now because it's like he does seem like that type of person. Some of the stories are just like, too accurate.
Dude, they've
to be
been
that
posting like
fucking-
old interviews with him
Yeah.
and shit too, and he just says nutty shit. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys that, like, I mean, went straight from, like, I don't think he ever was a gangbanger, but he was very much from that world. He went from that to being fucking, like, half a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna get some weird behavior out of a guy.
He definitely had Tupac killed, dude. There's no way he didn't.
Tupac's not dead. I mean,
True.
Tupac is in Africa. Everybody knows this.
Hanging out.
Yeah, so I've never been a fan of Diddy, just because I just felt like even the making the band parodies, like some of that shit was just like what he was doing to them was kind of fucked up, and you expect these people to blow up as rappers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're punking the shit out of them on national TV, making them walk for cheese. Everybody calls them the cheesecake guys now, you know what I mean? It's like
Dylon, dude.
Yeah, that might be
Nothing better,
I mean,
dude.
other than like putting on Biggie, like just producing those sketches, providing
Yeah.
material to Chappelle for those sketches
Yep.
is probably Diddy's biggest like cultural contribution.
I think
He's
so,
just one of
dude.
those guys who's
Yeah.
always been really good at putting himself in the right places.
Yes.
You know, as
Yep.
opposed to demonstrating any actual talent himself.
Yeah.
But
But he's also just a piece of shit.
yeah, that's the issue that I have with him is just like he's had so much talent on his label, and they all are. He's just sucks it all out.
Well, he
of
fucks them.
himself.
He fucks them over a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mace quit because of him.
Who's worse,
Fucking
Diddy or
Shine.
Birdman?
He fucked Shine over big time. He had to do mad jail time for
I
some
don't
shit
know
that
that story.
Diddy did. You'd have to look it up because I'd be.
Well, Shine did it, but Diddy just fucking left him hanging.
Yeah, like he didn't pay for his
He just got
any of
different
his
lawyers,
shit.
and he left
Yeah,
him
yeah.
with like a separate lawyer. And
Yeah.
it's like, Nas said something
That's
about
some
it on the
gangster
song.
shit,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That's like what Trump's doing with the January 6th guys. All those guys have to pay for their own lawyers. He's just like, you're on
Oh yeah,
your own.
Nas said that on Purple.
You're on your
That's the
own.
song. Yeah, yeah.
And J Lo was smart. She got out early when he was like turning that corner, doing all that crazy shit. You know, she got out of that before he locked her down. He was trying to, but and then he made all them damn songs. Got everybody to write all them damn songs for him. But that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of talent that he's had on his label, and he just takes it all and uses it for himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know. What he was doing to those, even the other girls, what was the girl, Danity Kane or whatever their name was.
It's a familiar
He
name.
had, yeah. There was one girl that was actually trying to like stand up for herself, and he was just dragging her through the mug, and he like canceled her. You try to Google right now, her name probably won't even pop up. Yeah, I mean Amber or whatever her name was.
Right, yeah.
Aubrey. I only remember that because I remember one of the group members on the boys group. One of the dudes was acting up, and he kept calling her Aubrey or something. He's Aubrey. I remember that was her name, but he like canceled the fuck out of her because she was just like too rebellious and trying to do her own, or trying to like use it what she should be using it for. Like,
Yeah, it is. It's funny now I think about it. I can't think of a single time he's like put out anything, any kind of art that I thought like, oh wow, this is really like redeeming his position.
None of his stuff is.
None of his stuff has ever been good. He's just the record label. He's like people
Yep.
talk about like the stereotype of like Jews giving predatory record contracts in the hood. Like that was fucking Diddy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I've never been a fan of him. That's all he's ever done. Like, I'm a big fan of like a lot of the people on this label, Mary J. Blige, The Lox, and them. And when you listen to some of their backstories, it's just like, dude, he was always an asshole.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
always just like narcissistic and always about himself.
Who's worse, him or Birdman?
It's got to be him, dude.
Well, he's had a wider range of like people he's fucked over, surely.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember feeling so bad for Lil Wayne, hearing that like he just hadn't made any money all those years.
Yep.
He's like literally
that's
the
crazy.
greatest rapper alive.
Stunting like my daddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder how true some of that shit is because, like, I feel like I mean, obviously, I feel like he should be. You hear a lot of like if you listen to a lot of like rap songs that I do or some subliminal shit like yeah I'm surprised by that too, but it's like I wonder how much of that is like people just being negligent with their money, or is it actually being them being played? I think it's a mixture of both.
Well, Lil Wayne started when he was like 14 or some shit, right? He started
Yeah.
mad young. So he probably, the odds of Birdman being like, oh, yeah, sign this contract real quick.
Right. Yeah. And everything being
and-
above board.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Come on.
And I think the rumor is he was actually paying them with drugs back then.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense,
God
yeah.
knows what. Yeah, and yeah, you're right. I can't imagine Lil Wayne was ever like like putting his money in savings.
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Yeah, no.
Like, and like
Yeah, none of that was in escrow, dude.
yeah, conservative investments. Like no, and also he's been high as shit the entire time. Yeah,
For
it's just one of those tough
20
situations
years
where,
now,
like,
dude, straight.
Like everybody's lying, everybody's unreliable. It's yeah.
He should have had that worked out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's crazy. All those master projects that he put out, all of those Carters are fucking fabulous. And
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, that's what bothers me about it. It's like you have the guy who's creating the art that is objectively good.
Yep.
Everybody fucking likes it.
Yep.
And then this dude who like, what the fuck has Birdman ever done? Like,
Yeah.
just got the to the
Shitty
right
rap
place at the right
songs, for sure.
And it's
Yeah.
like and it's like the generation before us. I feel bad when I hear a lot of stories because those people just didn't know. So it's like a lot of people now. I feel like you hear the stories about people before us. Why would you put yourself in that same position?
Yeah.
Like one of the stories, I love hearing the stories that people say about like Prince comes off as very arrogant and shit like that.
I fucking love Prince, dude.
But
Yeah, you gotta-
a lot of artists, like their interactions with Prince, like their stories when they talk to Prince, he kind of changed their mentality. Like they would want to sample something from him, and he's just like, if you don't own your own masters, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of them, actually started getting their own masters or
Yep.
their own masters. But a lot of them didn't even think like that. They just thought about that contract, getting $2 million or whatever, not realizing.
Right, and not even realizing that, like, when they come to you and say, like, oh, we're going to be flying you in a private jet, it's like, they're taking that out of the money that you're earning. None of these things are gifts. Yeah, dude, Prince has my all-time favorite interview moment ever, where he's like, nobody can play me. Anybody who's playing me plays themselves. Like, just the way he says it is amazing.
Oh, my favorite Prince interview is one of the ones they're talking to him, and he's just answering everything with his hand gestures. he's like asking him, he's just like, he's just putting up fingers like 3, 4. He's not saying a word. He's
Dude
like,
is
how many
wild.
albums you got now? He's like, 4. He's like, but he said he's so shy, that's why he was like that. But
He learned ASL just to fucking,
Right, yeah.
just to fuck with
Just
an
to fuck
interviewer.
people. Yeah.
well, like especially our people, everybody knows the New Edition story. Like, you know what I mean? Like how they completely went on a world tour and came back, and what's his name? Michael Bivins said he got a check for $1.32. $1.32.
That's insane.
At a
dude.
certain point, it does get funny. Like, it's tragic, obviously.
from Boston,
but,
right?
like,
New
$1.30. Why even bother giving him anything?
Yeah, I know, right? I know. I would rather get nothing than $1.32, to be honest.
Right, yeah, that's just a fuck you.
They straight diddied them.
Can't even buy in Arizona with that anymore. God damn it.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
what's even crazy is they had the same managers as New Kids on the Block.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That's
holy
fucked.
shit, That's fucked.
That's
up.
fucked up,
So
dude.
it's like New Kids on the Block was caking while these dudes was getting diddied.
I wonder if AI will solve this problem. Like, I wonder if you could have an AI agent or manager or whatever, like, make your schedule for you. Because, like, these people are necessary in the lives of an artist. You need somebody to negotiate on your behalf with venues and with, distribution and shit like that. But, like,
Yeah.
it's just you're opening yourself up to getting fucked over.
The way
I feel like that
AI
shit would fuck you even over more. Like this, like there was a fake Drake that was living off Drake for like 4 years.
yeah. And he wanted to like box him, didn't he, or some shit like
Right,
that?
so
wait.
AI, like
A fake.
Look up
Drake?
fake Drake, dude.
fake
Yeah,
Drake.
it's so funny.
Dude.
This
He was
rules.
he was getting in the clubs. He was living off Drake's name for like 4 years.
Yep.
He even had an account, and that's how Instagram actually started making it, where you couldn't make
Holy
an
shit! The
account
New
in
York
somebody
Times
else's
is
name.
reporting on this
Yeah.
shit.
Nope, that's different.
Oh, yeah, this is different. I know
That
I've
that
heard
song
this
that song was fire though.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
AI Drake and the Weeknd song
So it's like
was
if you
so
got
good.
people
Yeah,
in-
this dude.
Yeah, so if
He
you
was
got,
This
doing
guy.
the heart, dude. He was doing the heart in his hair and everything,
Everything.
dude.
so you can have
doesn't even-
real
I mean, I
people
suppose you
imitating
can.
you. Imagine with AI, like
right.
you'll get hacked all over the fucking place.
Yeah. Oh, it's already happening.
Yeah.
It makes
Yeah.
me worried about my parents a little bit. Like my dad is super conscious of this stuff, but my mom, I could see her getting tricked. I can see her getting tricked. I mean,
like
I
the-
can see myself getting tricked. Like it's
It's like the new QVC channel for old people.
it's the new
Tricking them into
Nigerian, it's the
spending
new
their-
Nigerian prince.
Yeah,
It's
true.
easy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one time I got fooled into some shit one time. It was around tax season. I got a call one time. I was at work and I was busy, so that's probably how they caught me. But it was on some shit like, it was like, yeah, you didn't file your taxes yet, and we're coming to get you type shit right now unless you wire us $3,000. And I was like, what? And I was just like looking for the email and everything, and I finally like came to my senses and was just like, yo, they didn't give a company name or anything.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I always have
I was
them
like, fuck this
recite.
phone call, and I just didn't stay home that day.
I always have them recite who I am. Like, give me my address, my shit, and make sure that they're
Right,
legit. Especially if it's for money.
Yeah, show me what you know. Yeah.
Oh, you're my bank. Let's hear it.
Right,
Tell me
yeah.
who I am.
Yeah, why didn't you send me a letter? I got one of these like a month or so ago. It was this lady calling and telling me that they had, like, she told me that she was border security and like customs and border security, and that they had intercepted a package that was in my name and was going to my address, and she had my address. And
I think they tried to hit me with that a couple years ago. Same
I bet they
story.
did. I mean,
yeah.
this playbook is not that deep.
No,
Like,
no,
They,
no.
they have
They only
a
have a
handful
few.
of things
Yep.
that they do. And so, yeah, she was like, and it contains fake IDs and a bunch of other like illegal shit. And at first she had me going, but here's how I figured out that it was bullshit: is that she was giving me a name of like somebody who is an actual like border patrol agent, but is clearly Mexican, like Juanita like Rodriguez or something. And this was clearly an Indian lady who was talking to me.
Yeah.
And at
Yeah.
first, like I was like, I don't know, maybe she's naturalized or something. Like I was trying not to be racist. And then she transferred me to her supervisor, who was another Juanita Rodriguez, who was also clearly an Indian lady.
Another one.
At that point, I was like, "All right, dude,
All right,
like,
knock it off.
we've had,
Knock it off.
I've had enough of
Back
this."
to that
And
shit.
what was really funny to me by the end is like when I started like catching on and started calling them on shit, they got mad at me.
Yeah.
They were like, "Sir." And so it's clearly that's part of the playbook too. Is like they think they can bully you
Yep.
into submission.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. It made me think about. I was watching a documentary like a couple weeks ago, and I didn't even know that this shit was really like happening.
What were you watching?
It was a documentary.
Oh,
I'm trying to
documentary.
think about it on Netflix.
I can try to pull it up.
But it was about gamers and how seriously they fucking take gaming, right?
Oh, okay.
So these dudes was playing Call of Duty, right? And
Yep.
they had a bet for $1.50. The dude accidentally killed the other guy online, and he sent SWAT to his house.
Oh, we just
Dude, we
talked,
talked
we
about this
literally
last
talked
week.
about this
Hell yeah.
last week on the
Hell yeah.
podcast. We literally talked about this.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
it got somebody fucking killed.
Yeah, he got him
Yeah.
killed. Yo,
Yeah.
over $1.50. Got somebody. He was like, "You're a pussy. You ain't
Over
gonna
getting
send SWAT
killed
to
in
my
Call of
house."
Duty.
And the dude sent SWAT to his house, and
He sent it to the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
The neighbor got killed for
Yeah.
no reason.
or
That's
his old
nuts.
address or whatever.
Yep.
Oh god, that shit's so
Crazy.
funny.
That's hilarious, dude. We just
Yeah, dude. Oh man.
listen back to the Tiny episode if you haven't listened to it.
Yeah, dude.
That was crazy. I was like, but it's how easily they could do it. It was just fascinating to me. Like they really was just calling up, using that AI shit, or fake voices, and just calling in.
Yeah, we're kind of like rehashing old shit, but like it bears repeating. Like what was so amazing to me about that story is that he convinced them that he was in the midst of a hostage situation right then.
Yeah.
So he's like, imagine not only lying to cops, but telling them that you're under duress.
Yeah.
That like there are people with guns.
Yeah.
Like that your life is at risk. That's a ballsy lie, dude.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what he thought was gonna happen to him about doing
He wasn't.
that.
He was in Call of Duty rage, dude.
I know, that's true.
I remember Call
Yeah.
of Duty rage. It's been a minute, but I remember.
I still play all the time. It happens, dude.
Yeah.
You know how many controllers I've broken in the last
I
couple
was gonna
years,
say,
dude?
if
Come
we
on,
ever
man.
hear about like a domestic violence charge between Kenny and his son, like
Yeah, it's
we're
me and
gonna
him playing
know.
COD together, dude. We be playing Fortnite, dude. He thinks he's nasty, dude. And I'm like, shut up. Like, he'll start telling me, he'll be dead already. He'll be telling me what to do. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. You want to get this win, dude? Or you want to?
Oh, dude, getting people backseat driving, any kind of technology thing drives me up the fucking wall. I remember my late grandmother, we were trying to help her with her iPad over the phone. And you can imagine.
That sounds like a nightmare.
You can
dude.
imagine how that was going.
Yeah.
And my mom originally was taking the charge on this. She was dealing with it.
Okay.
And then she brought me in as like fucking backup. She
Yeah.
called in the reserves.
Yep.
And I was trying to help my grandma, and my mom kept chirping in like little bits of advice. And at a certain point I just turned to her. I was like, hey, do you want to do this?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
do this?
Yeah.
All right, well, no, then fucking shut up. Yeah, dude, if we thought it was tough helping our old heads with iPads, imagine what it's going to be like for our fucking kids.
Oh, dude.
It's
I
like,
know.
I'm having trouble reprogramming the sex robot. I need
Yeah.
help from my son.
Please.
I got my daughter showing me how to put music and shit on my reels. So that's just like, or my grandmother. I think everybody's grandmother got don't know how to check their voicemails and shit, right?
I get
Both
mad
my
when people
grandmothers-
leave me voicemails.
My grandmother
Yeah.
and my wife's grandmother, neither one of them. There's no point in leaving a voicemail because they don't know how to check them shit at all.
My mom probably has over 200 unread messages on her phone, text messages. She gets on me about unread emails. I'm like, Mom, unread emails are like fucking Panera subscription
Yeah.
rewards.
Yeah.
You're missing messages about your friends that are in hospice. Like,
Yeah.
There's
For
a
real.
fucking difference.
For real. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, the reason I feel okay making fun of her for it is I'm 100% confident it's coming for all of us. Like, it's going to happen to me. It's like, my parents have gotten upset at me before being like, when I call them on the generational thing of like, yeah, you guys suck at tech right now. That's okay.
Dude,
And
we're all
it's
going
like,
to get phased out of
it's going to happen to it. It
being
happens
the
to
hip
everybody.
ones, dude. Yeah.
I love, like, it's one of my favorite things to look at in history. If you just look at a time where anything new was invented, the same things that you hear people saying now were always said. Like when the telegram was invented, people were like, well, it's over now.
Yeah.
Like everybody's
Yep.
going to be lazy because everything goes so fast.
Yep.
It's like, we're saying the same shit, you know?
Yep.
I love seeing Zoom bloopers.
Oh, man. Guys getting caught jerking off.
All types of shit. I'm like, it's fascinating.
Not
how
shutting
somebody
off the
caught
camera,
up.
dude. That's
Yeah.
no good.
Yeah.
I just saw something. We were just talking about the Waynes. I saw something. Keenan Every Waynes did this did a speech for his son's class, like about what going out in the world and making and da da da. And when he didn't realize it was a live Zoom, and he gets up and walks away, and he had on like no pants.
He's just mooning the camera.
His son's like, why do you have on no pants? And he's like, I thought it was just a recording. He's like, no. It's like, but then that other shit, like people jerking off and meaning and shit like that, it's like, yo, dude, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, how do people fuck up that badly?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a bad one, dude. That's a tough one.
I'm just impressed with like the speed with which they go from one activity to another. You know what I mean? Like I've had it in mind.
Well, if you think you
before,
got
like,
10 minutes until the meeting comes back on, dude, you're getting it done, dude.
yeah, that'd be funny if that was his excuse. He was like, blamed my fucking rigorous schedule. Yeah, shit. Like if they gave
So
us a
they'd be back in
reasonable,
10.
yeah, they gave us a reasonable lunch hour, none of this would have happened.
I was on a Zoom one time, and the chef actually, like, she started yelling at her kids and was like about to beat her kids, and somebody like, it's like you're on mute, and I'm like, she was like the director. This was like the person who was answering to.
Oh shit.
You want to take a pause?
Yeah, hit a quick pause.
the expression "Mom Dukes" that I hear from Black American people, like where did that come from?
Yeah.
And it just, I think just asking a question directed towards Black people in general just rubbed some people in the audience the wrong way.
Yeah.
Some girl like comes running up to the front row, starts heckling me, says something about the patriarchy, and I was like, all right, well, what's the alternative? And she was like, the matriarchy, and I was like, oh, that thing that never existed. And it went.
Yes.
It went downhill from there. And by the way, I'll defend that because it's like, look, if it's a simple matter of like winners and losers, like if a matriarchy was a more effective system, it would have happened. I don't think a patriarchy is a good system. I don't think men should be in charge in general. I think people who are the best at what they do should be in charge, whether they're a man or a woman or whatever the fuck they are. I don't care. But this idea that a matriarchy is an inherently better thing. It's like we were just talking about the Super Bowl. It's like saying the 49ers are a better team. It's like, well, maybe in your mind, but like we had a game to figure it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, what was the reason to talk about it with Chef Phil here is that I got off stage and immediately walked up to him and I was like, I'm not insane for thinking Mom Dukes is a real thing, right? And
then I pulled out my phone and I'm like, no, that's what I got both my grandmother and my mother saved that. So my wife, they down south they call their grandmothers Banny, so I got her saved as Banny Dukes in my phone. Well, my mother, I got her saved as Dukes 1 and Dukes 2 because she has 2 different phones. But when you asked me why they called Dukes, I couldn't answer because I didn't know. So I actually Googled it, and what Google said was like basically it started back in the days when rappers were using it, and that's kind of how it started. And it's just like it was just a term that's always been around, Dukes. My Dukes, my Dukes. I always thought it was because I kind of when I thought about it, I was thinking because like back in the days it was like put your Dukes up and your moms would hit you, and so I felt like that was the correlation.
That makes sense.
And then, but you said the patriarchy thing, I think why when she got back, because I felt like I have this thing now where this woke era or whatever you want to call them, the Gen Z era and shit, they're so fucking ready to be like, oh no, power to the people type shit, and a lot of them don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like there's a comic that tells a joke. He's like, I can't get a job because he's got a record, and he's like and then he said something, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, damn white privilege," and it's like that's not what white privilege is. You know what I mean? It's like you have a record, so that's why. You know what I mean? It's like anybody with a record is gonna have a hard time getting a job.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean? So it's just like they just the narrative. They just love to curve it to some shit that it's not. Like the girl that you guys was talking about before from Jeannie Johnson, like she's screaming out.
We call her NAACP around here.
Yeah, NAACP and the Terminator because
the Terminator
she
also,
yelled, "I'm gonna be back."
Yeah,
I'll be back
until Adam fucking banned her for not tipping.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
Yeah, so shit like that, and I just but it's a hard time, and I don't know. I go back and forth about it because I feel like. As a comic, I double down on most of the things I say, and then maybe we can have a conversation on stage. But most of the things I say on stage, I feel like they aren't really offensive. If you want to take offense to them, we could talk about it or whatever. But I feel like I doubling down is like I feel like the only way to like deal with that. You know what I mean? Or people trying to cancel you about a joke or whatever. I mean, it's hard to say that because unless your joke is offensive. But I didn't feel like that was offensive, and that's why I said it. And like I said, my mother said that my phone is my Duke, so it was just like to me, it was like. But it was an interesting question you asked. It was like, where did that originate from?
I think where he lost them was they said, "Oh, you're gonna do this during Black History Month," and you go, "Oh shit." I forgot it's even Black History Month. Yeah. I think that's when you lost them.
Yeah, maybe it was then, or
funny.
Maybe when I said, okay, but speaking of Black History Month, happy birthday, Black people.
Yeah, that's true. That could have been it.
Which I genuinely just think is funny, and obviously
that is funny.
Obviously a joke.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't take no offense to it at all.
If I was up there trying to spread, like, racist, like, conspiracy theories or whatever, I doubt I would start with Black History Month is the birthday of Black people.
And I think she got more offended at the fact that it was. I think you might have said something about like it being like coming from like a hierarchy chain or something like that. And that's when I think she was like getting somewhat defensive. But then, like I said about my point, then she gets up on stage after you and she starts talking about how Black History Month was like invented to like confuse us and shit like that. And I was like, no. And that's my thing. Is like people love to talk shit and don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean? And that's when I actually said to her, that's actually not true. You know, Black History Month was actually was actually invented by a black person for black people to be more aware about our own history that we wasn't aware about or people don't take the time to know about. And it's like when you do actually, it's mind-boggling, mind-blowing, like how much we've actually done, that we just didn't get accredited for. Like when I found out like a black woman invented GPS, and I was just like, wow, and everybody fucking uses that now. It's just like, that's crazy.
Do you guys do you still take credit for peanut butter?
So it's funny. I mean, they actually say he's accredited now for keeping slavery going. So they say that George Washington. So they say George
Washington Carver.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So they say that he's actually accredited for keeping slavery going because slavery was actually on the decline because it wasn't profitable because it took too much time to pick it to for it to be profitable. So it was actually on the decline, and here he comes like, massa, I made something for it to be more profitable, and slavery made a turn and actually started being profitable.
Oh God, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So it's like, fuck peanut butter. He's accredited for keeping his slavery going for like another 300 years.
Like, God damn it.
I mean, so it's like, it's crazy. Like when. But then again, I wonder if that's one of the things that they make up to make it more, palatable. But I've actually
Godfather 3 quote, dude. Right when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
He actually thought he was doing something good, and now when you look back on it, it was like, he actually fucking like they said is like it was, because I've never picked cotton, thankfully. It's up out of a Tylenol bottle, but I guess it's the original cotton is like full of seeds and shit like that, so it just was hard to pick. But yeah, this dude makes the cotton gin, and now it's profitable. It was like, hey, you guys come back, everybody come back.
Oh God. Yeah, dude. I mean, my problem with the whole thing is what happened immediately after is a perfect example of my problem with this whole I don't know whether you call it wokeism or cancel culture. There's a million different words for it, but I got off stage and I sat down before I went and talked to you. I sat down with two of the people that were heckling me.
Sorry.
And I tried to talk to them. I tried to ask them, okay, what did I say that was offensive? Let's have a dialogue about it. They refused to look me in the eye. Yeah. They just kept talking to each other. And it's like, okay, if you don't want to have a dialogue about this, then you're not actually interested in creating change. Yeah. Like, if you think that I'm a racist, then, fucking let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's, So, yeah, I don't think it's... I don't think they really want to improve the situation. I think they just want to fight.
Yeah, the younger crowd, that's what they're
because I think Peter said something to me. He was like, oh, what is he fucking with them again? And I was like, no, he's probably trying to ask them what they were offended by.
That's literally what I was doing.
I knew that's what you were doing, dude.
Yeah.
It's this younger Gen Z shit. Like I said, I'm a chef, and let me tell you a crazy story. One time at a job, I had a white girl I was talking to about something she was doing. And her defense was that I was using my black privilege against her. And I was like, what? It's like, meanwhile, this girl had quit 2 times, you know what I mean? Walked out on the job twice, got caught fucking on the job once. And she's
younger, Gen Z?
Yeah, she was at the time, she was I think she was 19.
Fuck.
And this is a couple years ago. So she's 19 a couple years ago. And it was just she was trying to say that I was using my black privilege to pick on her, and I was just like, yo,
that's like those kids on TikTok now that are Osama bin Laden sympathizers.
Yeah, that he actually ruled.
yeah, they're like, well, if he was actually America did him pretty dirty, so it kind of makes sense why he did 9/11.
Right? Yeah, I didn't know we actually trained him.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Osama bin Laden's backstory is pretty incredible. Also, the
should have played basketball, dude.
He
was tall as hell.
His sort of manifesto as to what his plan was with 9/11 is pretty incredible. He was basically saying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit this act of terror that is going to draw the United States into long unwinnable wars that's going to bleed them dry until we can actually come in and defeat them, which is basically what happened. Like, we proceeded to spend 20 years in countries that had nothing to do with the actual attack, spending billions of dollars, killing tons of innocent people. Yeah, there were a couple things about him that were incredible, but none that excused the murder of 2,000 innocent people. It's like,
You know what's fun?
3,000,
Yeah,
excuse me.
exactly. So that's the only thing you can't excuse. But it's like a lot of times when you do talk to other people from other countries, they have legitimate reasons why they have problems with our government.
Sure, of course, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, with the Gen Z thing, I think what happened is that we taught them collectively as a society that, like, there are certain words you can use that will get you out of trouble in any situation and that will give you the advantages you want to have. So, like, there's a video that was circulating a little while ago of, like, a police pullover. This cop pulls over this woman for drunk driving, and she gets out of the car and she immediately starts going off.
Oh,
of,
she
like,
said she had like anxiety or something, right?
She was like, I have anxiety,
Yep.
I have PTSD.
Yep.
I
saw
need
that video too.
He addresses her as her. She's like, those aren't my pronouns.
Yep.
Like, she keeps rattling these things off, and it's clearly just a defense mechanism to get out of the fact that she has been pulled over drunk driving.
But that was like that was gonna be like her 7th DUI or some shit like that too.
Probably.
That's what
Yeah.
That's what I saw on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like how it's that thing of like how parents are encouraged. Like, I've heard people encourage parents not to be too harsh with punishing their kids because you're not teaching them to follow the rules. You're teaching them how to lie. That's kind of, I think that's what we've done with this generation, is like taught them not to, learn history or have a dialogue. We've taught them that, like, if you use these key words, you can get what you want.
Yep.
The craziest shit I ever heard. I don't know if you heard of this case, but I think they said he suffered from affluenza or something like that.
Oh, I heard that one. Yeah.
So this dude, he was like 16 and some shit like that. Rich kid. He like stole his parents' car, went on like a joyride, killed a couple people.
Oh shit.
And then his defense was that he suffered from affluenza, which is, I guess, a disorder where you're so rich and you're so accustomed to doing whatever you want that you're not accustomed to not doing what you can't do.
Yeah, he basically said, I've been spoiled rotten.
So he
and
just
so
he
I'm
just
not
pulled the
responsible for
spoiled
my
card.
actions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was his defense. And he actually, I think he only got like probation or some shit.
Yeah.
So he just got spoiled again.
I mean, that is some Johnny Carson, or not Johnny Carson, Johnny Cochran
Cochran.
level, like, that his lawyer deserves a fucking award for
Yeah.
that. That's incredible.
Yeah, I couldn't fucking believe that shit. I'm just like, yo, then isn't that, or haven't we been suffering from the exact opposite? Like, I've been so used to being fucking shitted on and not having shit that now I feel like it's my fucking turn to just go take whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Oh, God. Yeah, people make those arguments around, like, I mean, it's kind of a tired topic on podcasts these days. Like, it's all Rogan ever fucking talks about. But in, like, San Francisco and here, how, like, they lock up products in CVS and Walgreens and stuff because everybody's stealing them. And then people say, like, okay, well, should we prosecute these people? We should arrest them, right? And then people say, like, they're not stealing because they're bad people. They're stealing because they're poor and because they have to.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean... like, couldn't that argument, if you take that argument and apply it anywhere else, it's like, oh, so should we not prosecute somebody who kills somebody else? Because it's like, oh, well, they thought they had to.
Yeah.
like I wasn't hip to during COVID. Like, apparently, Enfamil was fucking hard to come by.
Like baby formula.
Yeah, baby formula.
Yeah.
That shit was hard to come by. That shit was locked up everywhere. And I seen was in a Stop and Shop one time and seen everybody going like frenzy for like the last like 3 cans and shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh.
They should try breastfeeding.
Yeah, breast milk's good.
COVID was a wild time, man. Those Black Lives Matter protests, like the protests that were mostly protests and then the occasional riot, that was such a wild thing. Like, I remember my buddy John and I we wouldn't watch CNN or anything, but we'd watch these live streams where it's like your computer screen would be broken up into like 16 different quadrants of people live streaming from various parts of the riot. And the part of the screen that was being live streamed would get bigger and smaller depending on how many people were tuned into that stream. So like if a lot was happening in front of one particular person, more people would tune into that one and it would get bigger. And like it was incredible to watch. It was fascinating. There were a lot of takeaways from it, but like one of the main things that fucked with me is that watching regular news after that was so boring. I was like, I kind of wanted the riots to continue.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. I was like, man, this is fucked up. It's like there's something seductive about that kind of action going on. You know?
Yeah.
Something else we realized is like, for a lot of people, those were just fucking social events. Like you could see people like guys like hitting on girls, being like,
Oh, yeah, for
all
sure.
cops are bastards. Oh, you think so too? What do you what are you
doing later?
Yeah, what are you doing
Yeah,
later? Yeah, literally. So what happens when you lock everybody down? People got to go get pussy.
Yeah, true.
They'll do whatever they can.
Julian Cole had this joke that I love about the riots. He was talking about how he'd bump into white people that was like in support of the riots and Black Lives Matter and shit like that. He was like, so I robbed that bitch to see how down for the cause she was.
That's great.
That fucking rules.
That's great. Yeah, like, hey, I'm gonna go loot this Apple store later. You want to come? Want to hang out?
There is something that makes me like really sad and concerned though about like some of the security footage from these Apple stores. Dudes just walking in there, ripping off all the iPhones.
I saw one the other day, dude.
Just walking.
Yeah.
People standing there and just watching it happen. It's like
Yep.
the bystander effect, like to new heights.
Yeah, but to me, it's
There's
like,
no way
that's
you
not
don't get
some
caught
shit
from
I'm-
that almost immediately, though.
That's not some shit I'm willing to like. Apple's got plenty of money.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about
Just
Apple.
don't do- yeah.
It's just this attitude. The attitude of lawlessness.
Yeah.
I feel like is a contagious thing. More and more people see that, and they're just like, yeah, why not just fucking rob everything all the time? You know.
But I also
Yeah.
feel like the flip side to that too is like we're in hard times right now, and a lot of people are unemployed, and prices of shit is just going up.
Inflation's fucking
Yeah.
insane.
And
It's
just
ridiculous.
like, one of the reasons why I've been having a hard time doing catering is just the price of food right now is ridiculously high.
Yeah.
Certain things is ridiculously high. Like the most expensive part of the fucking chicken right now is the wing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's quadruple the price of any other part of the chicken.
Well, that makes sense. Wings are the best.
Yeah.
Wings fucking rule.
Yeah.
So that,
Wings
people
are the
that,
best.
But it's like, so now you got people stealing iPods so they can buy chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's where we're at.
Hey, we're not talking about stereotypes here, all right? Knock it off.
Now, before it was like they was trying to buy crack. Now motherfuckers are just trying to buy,
Just trying to get food. Yeah.
I'll get crack later. Right now, I need to fucking eat.
Yeah.
All right. Well. On that note.
Yeah, let's call it.
Yeah, we better call it. We gotta get to a show. Phil, do you got anything to promote?
Well, no, I'm hosting the Jungle tonight, hosting the Middle East tomorrow.
This will come out on Monday, so. Right?
Is
Monday?
there any shows coming up in the next
Premiere
few
on-
weeks?
Yeah, premiere on Broadway is coming up
Yes,
September
sir.
29th. I'm featured on that.
February.
February.
February 29th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
February
yeah,
29th. I'm sorry, February 29th.
Yep.
Me, Josh Mandel, Alexis Cristaldi.
Yep.
That's my homie right there.
Yes, sir.
Trisha
Trisha Thompson.
I think she might be my sister. I've been trying to like do an ancestry.com. And Cam McNeil, that's my homie too.
Yes, sir. Hosted by me, baby.
Yeah.
Come through, pull up. It's going to be fun. Only $10, dude.
Doors
For the price of 2 chicken wings, you can come watch us do comedy.
All right.
Remember that when bars used to have the chicken wings? That used to be the selling point of 25-cent
50-cent wings.
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's done now.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that's
thanks
toast.
again to Chef Phil for coming on.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, man.
We'll have you back again soon.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, dude.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Peace.
Junkie.